Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here, just doing a video, and I'm probably just going to blather for a little bit because I drank too much coffee today and drank too much soda, so I'm going to be probably pretty tired tomorrow, working at 8:30, but nevertheless, that was my choice. It's my body, my choice, right? My body, my choice, no mask. Hydroxychloroquine's great. Uh, anyways, before I make fun of that shit, I just have, a few topics to talk about. It's going to be not a one subject video. So, one thing that really annoys me is when people try to push me away from their emotionally damaged ex-girlfriends or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because I'm some type of weirdo, annoying guy that is rambunctious or whatever. But I told this person that I don't think they respect me because it's like, oh, you gotta get away. I'm hanging out with my ex. Anyways, I just wanted to get some fucking. It's a catharsis video, okay? This is a video as a catharsis, so that really fucking pisses me off. And I think people get annoyed with me, and that's their own problem. That's not my problem, It's not my problem. I'm unique in certain ways. So, anyways, with that out of the way, I feel better already talking about that. So, sorry to expose so much of my life on this platform. So what's up with me lately? I've been trying to date again, and it's kind of hard to date when the governor of your state tells you you have to stay home because of a surge in cases. So one thing I have to say about that is that if there is an overflow hospital that never gets used, let's say a month from now that doesn't happen, then, telling people to stay home is just kind of silly, Well, better safe than sorry, I guess, but it's just like, nobody I know is staying home, none of my friends, and I haven't talked to some of my family in a while that's in town, but I'm not staying home, It's not going to do that. It's not like I'm going to a bunch of bars or whatever. I just go to one or two people's houses, once or twice a week, like the gaming people who don't tell us to stay home. So, and I don't know. I think it's pretty clear what's going on now. No, it's not clear, but it might be what's going on. And this is just conjecture right here, what I'm about to say, and it's a little bit controversial. So maybe it's hope that this is what's happening. I remember when Tom Ridge, after 9/11, there's a national security guy, Tom Ridge, would have these color-coded warnings about how much of a chance there would be terrorism. And, so they'd have color-coded warnings, be yellow, green, red, whatever. And there was, it was every week we were told about this supposed terrorism that was going to happen. And, there was the shoe bomber guy that got stopped on the plane or whatever, and shit like that. But it didn't happen. The big oomph terrorist attack so far. Years have passed since 9/11, but it never happened. So this theory is going to sound really controversial, and it's not a theory. It's more just an observation. So a state, let's just say, I don't know if this is true, There could be some big surge of the virus that does cause hospitals to overflow with patients and all this stuff. I could be wrong, but I I sense a little bit of a trend here, and correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong about this, but I do know, like I said, I have two members of my family do work in hospitals in Texas. And this big, like, a couple months ago, there was this big surge in cases in Texas, and they were warning that hospitals will be flowing with C virus patients, and like they'd be overwhelmed, right? The hospitals. As far as I know, I don't think they had to, I don't, I'd have to look it up, but the big overwhelming thing kind of came and went, for one, and for two, I don't think it really happened on the level that they were warning about. Because my mother, who lives in Texas, said, "Oh yeah, well now the cases are going down a couple weeks later, blah blah blah," and it's kind of funny because to me it's like they have to hype up this, and I'm not saying this won't happen. Wisconsin's hospitals could overflow and blah blah blah. They could be used as field hospital for the patients and stuff. I'm not going to say that couldn't happen, but let's say it doesn't happen. To me, if it doesn't happen, it's confirmation that something's not right. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen or not going to happen, but something's not right about this. And it just could be of this myopic kind of thinking about everything that, it doesn't have to be, because not everything's a conspiracy, but this group think that people have right now. Sociology calls it a lot of things. It's even the thing about the madness of crowds and all this stuff. Just, mass hysteria, stuff like that. Like the people during the witch trials in Salem, they had this case of mass hysteria. This a lot of stuff like that. So it's not like some people sat in a room and said, "Oh, we're going to try to scare people, blah, 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 so they get the vaccine with the nanobots." It's not necessarily that kind of thing. It's not on that level. Maybe it's on a different level altogether. So if this huge surge doesn't result in, let's say the overflow hospitals never used, or first of all, let me preface this by saying that the overflow hospital, the only reason why, or not the only reason why, but one of the reasons why overflow hospitals are used is because they have this C virus ward that they have to make to protect everybody else from the C virus, right? If it was a normal type of thing, that this was, maybe a normal flu or whatever like that, I don't think that they would have, I don't know much about hospitals, right? But I don't think there would be like a normal kind of ward, or it would be more of a normal kind of thing where, you have different sections, but it wouldn't be like this really special, like extreme precautions, careful ward that they set up at hospitals. So that probably makes it more difficult to store these patients in this one place. And of course, there's been articles about how testing's all fucked up too, and all that stuff. So I don't think they would have to use these overflow hospitals if this was, counted as a normal kind of thing necessarily. But I'm not sure about that. I might be just putting out a bunch of fucking like misinformation in this video, but I don't give a shit. Whatever. I don't know. It's not misinformation. I'm just curious. What is the deal with this? I just don't know. So that's what I got to say about that. So like, let's say today is the 10th of November. So let's say by October. Let's say by the 5th of November, this huge thing did not happen. Hospitals didn't get overwhelmed. This is honestly what I'm going to say. If it doesn't happen, or if it happens like way less serious of a level than they've been predicting, I'm just going to say this is bullshit, right? I mean, something's not right, and it's bullshit, if it doesn't happen. If it does happen, then holy shit, I was wrong. Wow, damn, that's fucked up. Sorry to hear about that, you know? Now, if it's somewhere in between, that's kind of the sweet spot, right? Because, not this, it sounds terrible to be called the sweet spot. It's not the sweet spot, but it's like probably the most probable outcome is somewhere in between. And that's usually how it is with this. Because when this thing was hitting New York really hardcore, there was only one overflow hospital used. So that's the funny thing. Like I think they had like 13 or maybe it was more overflow hospitals. They were built makeshift hospitals. Only one was used, which means they were overwhelmed, right? But they weren't overwhelmed at even half the level that they expected it to be. So, I could foresee them maybe getting overwhelmed and then using part of this field hospital, but it's like 10 patients or some shit. That would be kind of an in-between result. Now, the problem with the in-between results are that, what this middle ground, these predictions, is that it's still bad, but there's so much so much weird, there's still an element of hysteria and bullshit involved with that, even if it is like, literally half as bad as they say, half as bad, right? So that's where you kind of have to separate the two things that you're like looking into with this. What is the motivation for making this so hysterical, or serious? And is there a motivation? I don't know. So it's just a weird thing. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist as far as, and on the same extreme level as some of the commentators that have been. I see this as maybe just kind of like, this is just the timing of what happened with everything. So, I don't know. Were Texas hospitals overwhelmed? What does it mean by being overwhelmed, Does it mean... I know that they're stopping non-essential places at some procedures at some hospitals in Wisconsin now because of this. But really, what does it mean to be overwhelmed, And how long is that going to last? Is that going to last a whole month? So, as Sunetra Gupta and other people have said, and they pointed out this thing, and I think they kind of, I think she's onto something. I think she was wrong about some of her stuff, but, and a few of these other people have said, what happens is this virus seems to kind of have a predictable pattern where it'll hit an area. Okay, so it already hit Wisconsin early in the spring, right? But I don't think it really hit Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like right now, I think it's hitting Wisconsin. The second wave. Oh my god. Because I think before it was like, yeah, but like, I think this is like more truly what they feared and thought about, if this is really what's happening. So it's not happening like as much as like up north, because all those stupid Trump supporters, you see on Twitter, people are just toxic, So you're supposed to have sympathy for these people that have this virus, but then you blame them for getting the virus. Well, that makes sense. That sounds like real empathy there. They're so stupid getting the virus. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the virus is terrible. I feel bad for them. But they're so stupid. Oh, yeah, you really fucking have a lot of love for people, huh? So, yeah. So what Sunetra Gupta said is basically it burns itself out in a region, and then it kind of goes down, and it's kind of a predictable pattern. So as far as how that would work is that a bunch of people would get it, vulnerable people, some of them would die, some of them would develop some type of immunity. So in Wisconsin, what that would look like is that, there'd be a huge surge, and this is kind of based upon my own observations about Texas, because Texas was this big, huge thing a couple months ago. So, uh, and it's kind of funny because like that's basically what happened in Texas as far as I know. I'd have to take a look at the stats again, but like my mother told me, she watches the news. They say cases are going down, so I'd have to take a look at the stats. But it seems like for a while they were going up, and the deaths are going down, obviously too. So Sinatra Gupta is probably right. She was wrong about. I think she was talking about England mainly, about the how it's already been through here, and it's on its way out. I think she was talking about England. She wasn't talking about the United States. The United States is going to have to go through all that as far as people getting the virus. They could try. I truly believe that like it's just going to be what it is. I mean, we can learn to live with it. Possibly, we might have to learn to live with it. That's what the Atlantic has said. Other places, other more less non-Trump supporting publications have said this too. It's not just a bunch of Republicans saying this stuff. So we have to learn how to live with what's going on. New normal. I hate that term. I might just want to. Whoever first started using that in this virus, the new normal thing, I would just type. I mean, I don't think I would. I don't want them dead, but I definitely would want to torture them over the fucking a roast pit for a few hours, because it's so fucking just. Oh, I just hate it. It's just I have a lot of violent kind of thoughts lately about stuff, because like, no, I don't want to do anything to anybody. I'm just saying, like, I would, like, if I could, like, just because it's just so ludicrous, I wouldn't do anything violent, but it makes me want to do something violent to whoever fucking wrote that. It's such bullshit. I just hate that. So I think that it looks like that's what happens in states. So you have these surges, and I described it as whack-a-mole, and I think that's pretty true. You have these places where it's like a forest fire, like I said. You have places that go through these surges, and then they die down, and then we're off to something else, somewhere else. Now, the question is, if enough places, unfortunately, get these types of surges, will there be some kind of, dare I say, the dreaded word, herd immunity? Or, well, yeah, that's the only thing, really. I don't know. I think time will tell if we go through this. And it's part of my yawning. I'm supposed to be sleeping because I work at 8:30 and it's like 11 o'clock. But it's like, are we going to go through this one time, or, who knows? But like I said, I think that if there is no big, huge, if the surge doesn't result in like any of these, like for example, if the surge doesn't, I know they're canceling all these essential things, or non-essential surgeries now in certain hospitals, but that doesn't. If this thing doesn't result in the makeshift hospital that they set up, then I'm going to seriously call into question a lot of the hype and hysteria, because. And you can say what you want about that. I mean, you can say, well, people were social distancing more and wearing masks more. That's why it went down. They're gonna use any kind of credit that they can about it. As far as they're gonna give themselves a pat on the back. Oh, we did something about it. We said to stay at home, and people did. No, they didn't. I mean, people aren't staying home. Like I said, I think only about like 20% of people are staying home anymore. I mean, people are having friends over. I mean, it's not like huge fucking like festivals in their backyard, but it's more, you'll have 3 or 4 friends over, or 2 friends over, or, your girlfriend, or whatever. That's just the way it goes with this. I mean, let's just be real. uh, people are not going to hunker down for whatever huge and undefined amount of time that it takes for a vaccine to be developed, if one even gets developed. People are not going to do that. People aren't doing that. I know they aren't, because I see them. I talk to them. I know them. You know, I mean, I think I think we can all just say this here. We can, you know, just admit to ourselves that we're not fucking, it's not gonna fucking, this is not gonna fucking like work. These mitigation measures, I mean, they're obviously not working. Our country is so divided, and people are so divided over the virus stuff, as far as like their political beliefs. And then, half the people that are even on the really careful side, I don't think they're even following their own words anyways. I mean, I know certain people, I'll just say that without, even being worse to people that I know, that talk a good game, right? They say, "Oh my God, Trump's such a terrible person. Look what he's done with the virus. I saw a person without a mask today." Do they do that in their personal life? No. Like, do they tell me to wear a mask when I'm at their house? No. It's like, and I think that phenomenon is pretty common. That's my opinion, because I just don't think. I was out today. There was people, all sorts of people out. It wasn't a huge amount of people, but there are people at restaurants outside and stuff with no masks on, all close together. It wasn't like fucking, And I even went to a coffee shop, and there was like this family sitting at the table, no masks on. There's like 4 or 5 people. And the thing is, the logic is that if you're eating or drinking or whatever, you can take your mask off. It's like, that doesn't really make sense when you think about how the virus spreads. As a matter of fact, I mean, I know you're supposed to, you have to eat if you're in a restaurant or in the coffee shop. By the way, I'm going to be going back to this coffee shop because I think I love, this coffee shop I've been going for years. It's one of my other choices of a coffee shop. It's like my second favorite in Madison. But I'm not going to name the coffee shop, by the way. But, sorry to say. The fact of the matter is that is a guideline. It's like, I would say that it's probably more beneficial to wear a mask when you're sitting down, whereas walking around in the restaurant, like when you're first sitting down, when you're first getting a seat, is probably less. It's probably less of a risk with not wearing a mask versus sitting down. As far as all the studies I've seen, there was that thing in China, that CNN thing about the restaurant, spreading the virus and all this stuff. So let's just be realistic. More people are going to get it. It's whack-a-mole. We need a different strategy. It's not working, It's not going to work in this country the way that it is either. I'm sad to say, anything that like they've done in Europe, which still, there's still surges in Europe and stuff. It's like, it's not going away. I agree with the people that say it's not going to go away. This thing's not going to go away. We're not going to be able to we'll go back to normal until we have a vaccine. No, I didn't say that. I was trying to talk like, I can't talk like Mr. Microsoft, but Awaken with JP, excuse me. His channel has some really good stuff where he makes fun of that man, and it's pretty well done. So that's I recommend that. I recommend his channel for a lot of this stuff. Like the latest one about if the way we acted with the pandemic applied to everything. I spaced that out because I don't want to get the YouTube censors on me. Even though I'm not too careful in other videos, I don't know what is wrong with me. But if we acted like that with everything, what would happen? And it's a pretty funny video. It's one of his newer ones. So no, I'm not going to hunker down. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? So what I mean by not hunkering down is that, I'm currently trying to date again. And if women want to meet, I'm going to meet them, you know? I think what they mean by hunker down is like not be around people at all. It's just like, I don't know what they mean by that. You know, there's a lot of these terms and a lot of these phrases and phraseology and fucking all this stuff. They don't really make themselves clear a lot of the time. It's all like, oh, we're saying this, we're saying that. You know, it's like there's no transparency. I think I said this in another video. There seems to be no clear, concise message about what to do, what it means. I know Wisconsin had some mixed messages too, like, well, if you're gonna hang out with your small bubble of friends, you know, now they're talking about that, like, because they know that people aren't gonna just fucking self isolate for 3 years or whatever. So they guess they have to say this shit, but still the governor says stay at home. So no, I'm not gonna stay at home. So what does that involve? So what do I do? So sometimes I hang out with one of my best friends and we walk around town outside, you know, and do, you know, talk, do various, you know, just hang out and do, you know, goof around and shit. Sometimes one of us will hit on a woman, you know. That's what we do. Now, should I be doing that in all this? Yeah. Why not? I mean, what's the harm? You know, it's not like if it's not like we're in a crowded bar, you know, where there's a bunch of people that super spreaders, all that shit. It's a little bit different environment out there. So that's one of the things I do, you know. That doesn't happen too often lately. It's getting colder, so I mean, specific person that probably will watch this video knows that I know that, you know, he's less into the thing when it gets cold outside. So that's one thing that I do that I'm not hunkering down. Okay, so what's the second thing? Definition of not hunkering down. So going to the gym, you know. I think if you're supposed to not be around people, you shouldn't be at the gym. Gyms are open, so I mean they're at 25%, but the gym I go to is not ever filled with more than maybe, I think there was like about maybe about 7 to 10 people there today. Big gym, you know. So, you know, it's like, well, there's a risk, I guess, but like there's spaced apart, there's good ventilation, everybody's wearing a mask, which is a fucking pain in the ass. And I don't even know if that, you know, obviously with the airborne shit, I don't even know if that helps anyways, but it's a risk, you know. But everybody chose, this is the most important point, everybody voluntarily chose to go, right? There's no choice anymore. It seems like people don't give you the choice to be responsible for your own health. In that situation, that is being responsible for your own health. If you're around people that are already there, that they chose to take this risk, supposed risk, right? Why am I a criminal or being shamed by the governor for not staying at home? Okay. So the third way that I don't hunker down is by hanging out with my role-playing friends. So how many people are usually there? Okay, so there's, let's see. So today, when I went, there was, both live there. There was 4 other people. So that's about 5 people. On a normal given day, it's usually 3 or 4 more people, right? So on Saturdays, there's 4 more people. And then 3 of those people, other than me, are also there on Monday. So that's how that works. One of them is of somewhat advanced age. I don't know, and she is worried about this stuff, but you know, she accepts, you know, I said, you know, it's your choice, you know, as far as want people over, and she just accepts everything as far as what's going on. So that's, I mean, it's not, I specifically said, I mean, that's specifically asking for that consent of coming over, all of us coming over. We ask, you know, that expectation is that we can come over, we don't have to wear a mask. It wasn't really my choice not to do that. If they would have said, this couple that owns the house that we do this at, they would have said, "Oh, we have to wear masks during role playing." I'll be like, "Okay." I even actually emailed. There was a guy that quit because we weren't wearing masks and social distancing, and I said, "Well, what do they, so and so think about this?" I'm going to ask them, this email. We were all in this thread on Facebook, and I was like, "Well, if that's their choice, if they don't want us to wear a mask," and then they responded, "Oh, I don't really feel comfortable wearing a mask in my own home. I don't think it's fair to ask people to wear a mask at our own home and all this stuff." So it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's us being irresponsible or whatever, but yeah, that's the way that went. So what's the next way that I don't hunker down, or I'm not hunkering down? So that would be my sister and my extended family, my two nephews, brother-in-law and sister. So that's about 4 people, right? Other than me. Some of these groups are just like 3 or 4 people, right? So that's about a total of 8 people, other than people at the gym that I would see in a given week. It may be, not all the time. I don't see them too often. I do see them sometimes. I don't see them very often. So maybe about 10 people in a given week. Of course, those 10 people are probably seeing other people too and hanging out with other people. So, but fact of the matter is, how are people that I know, I'm not, I'm trying to retain anonymity here, but it's hopefully nobody knows, too much about this that knows me. So what's another way that we can talk about this? Well, let's talk about friends and what people do. So I just named you. Everybody they just mentioned do not require me to wear a mask or social distance, and they are not hunkering down. And that's actually, the irony is, most of those people, barring my sister that I didn't get along with or that I kind of had a falling out with because I was being a fucking dweeb for a year or two, barring them, is people I would just know. It's just normal, everyday, fucking run-of-the-mill people that I would hang out with normally. It's just kind of it's actually the normal flow of things that was before the pandemic started, as far as who I hang out with, including my roommate and one or two of our friends, or our mutual friends. Sometimes too, one of our mutual friends came over a couple weeks back. So it's normal, is basically what I'm saying. It's maybe that would be about 12 people all in all that I would see in a given week, and that's very special occasions. Not usually that many people. So what does it mean? Stay at home. What do they mean by that? It's unclear what they mean by that. I don't know if they mean like literally like the stay at home orders or lockdowns or whatever. It's like a request, and then there's people that respond to it, from the right-wing persuasion, and then they are shamed and said they're Trump tards and all this stuff on Twitter. And it's like, are you telling people to stay at home by themselves? Are you telling people just not to go out to bars? Are you telling people to not go to public places, not go outside? It's just very vague and very fucking like, stay at home, you're part of the problem. You're selfish. You're a sociopath, probably. You're probably a Trump supporter. All those people, how many Trump supporters that I just mentioned that don't follow these orders about staying at home? Not orders, but, suggestions. 0. None. I don't know any Trump. I'm not friends with any Trump supporter. Or barring this guy at work that is a Trump supporter that I'm sort of loosely friends with. The guy. He's, I never see him outside of work because, it's kind of funny because, my job is, extremely obsessively strict with all this stuff to the point of nauseum, I mean, I'm sure it's, when I went to this coffee shop today, it was pretty normal. I was pretty happy. Actually going inside coffee shops that have actual seating lately, when I see things that are pretty normal there, my heart warms, honestly. I saw a bunch of people playing tennis today. Wow. That's pretty funny too. We're supposed to stay at home. All these people playing tennis. I thought we're supposed to stay at home, Governor, right? Should I like yell at those people for not staying at home, playing tennis outside? See, that's the whole thing. Like, I think this is very much like 9/11, in that they're gonna say these proclamations about, oh my God, this huge thing's gonna happen. We gotta be careful, stay at home, and then it's like a whimper, I mean, it's hope too, but I think it's a very likely chance that that's probably gonna happen. I could be wrong, Oh my God, like 2 weeks from now, I could be doing a video about there's 10 overflow hospitals in Wisconsin that are all filled with the patients of the Z virus. Oh my God, I was so wrong. My whole family died from it. Oh my God, I could do that. You never know. It could. I mean, fucking anything can happen in this world, right? But if not, what am I gonna think? I'm gonna be fucking even more bitter. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be pissed. I already am pissed, but if it doesn't happen, and if it's in the middle ground, I'm still gonna be pissed or in the middle direction. I'm still gonna be pissed because like they did kind of make shit up, not make shit up, but they overstated the probability of this, which means someone's fucking incompetent, okay, or it's an agenda, maybe, who knows. So on to some other matters. Just kind of giving kind of an update. Recording an album. I'm back on track with that, and today I submitted the second to final song that the drummer that I'm working with, that I've worked with actually for a long time now, is going to do. And I'm excited. This song sounds a lot like Summer in Time, Iron Maiden, sort of, like, has that feel, but with some progressive stuff thrown in. It's even like some jazzy stuff at the end. Very excited about this song. And there's another song that I'm writing that's going to be very Manowar, where I already wrote the lyrics and I wrote some of the music. Very Manowar-esque, but like some of their piano ballads that were on later albums, in the 80s. Like Heart of Steel and like Courage, songs like that. It was very... But this is going to be... The twist is that it's very, very much like... I mixed like a lot of Tony Robbins stuff with it. Like, it's pretty funny. But like some of his like stuff, basically. No copyright will be infringed, but so those two songs, the last songs, it has 13 songs. I mean, 13 fucking songs. It's going to be this album. That project's called Pathless Land. The album's called Bloodlines. Been working on this since spring of 2018. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of upheaval, Last year I didn't work on it a lot because what would happen, and I'm not unhappy about this because I'm glad I went through it. I had a girlfriend who, for some reason, I didn't want to call. Well, for part of the time, I didn't want to call my girlfriend for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm working into that, working on myself, trying to figure this shit out, right? So I had a girlfriend, and we spent basically a day and a half of my days off, my 3 days off, because I worked on our shifts together. And not to sound weird, but like it was pretty exhausting at times, so I like did not like get a lot of music done at that time, even on Saturdays when I had another day off. So it's just kind of slow grind in this new project, this album. I did 2 EPs this year, though, in the meantime, and a single, quote unquote, on Bandcamp. One's called One More Chance, and that's kind of a song about a relationship and, wanting one more chance, kind of corny as fuck, right? I just wanted to write a really AOR, cheesy song, It's just like I did another song called Time Will Tell If Our Love Is Gonna Last. I started writing these songs. I just like got to the point where I'm, listening to so much AOR cheese that I just started writing these types of songs for a while, So there's another one I'm working on too, but as far as that AOR kind of stuff, that's still Pathless Land. So that EP came out last week. It has 3 songs. One's sort of a synth wave sort of song, sort of, and there's Time Will Tell. Love Is Gonna Last is the B side, because it's a newer version that is a lot better. Like, has more, well, not better, but like has more backing vocals and guitars and stuff. So also released what is it? I can't remember. This acoustic EP too for Pathless Land called oh God, wow! I just released so much music I can't remember. I just know the cover. Fuck, that was early in the summer. What is it called? Jesus Christ, I don't know the name of my own damn albums. I'm drawing a blank, honestly. Like, I've recorded or written like 20 songs, and just keep releasing stuff in the last year. So, the album, god damn it, I'm gonna have to look it up. I feel so embarrassed. I don't even know the name of my own EP that I released earlier this year. I'm such a dork. I released another EP called Perception is Projection, which is electronic music. And I also released all in all on Bandcamp I've released 5.
The Mad Master.
Oh shit, there I am. What the fuck is it called? Okay. The Which We Flow, what the fuck? It's from Conan, what the fuck? Emanations from the Ether. Okay. I forgot the title because I was gonna call it this other thing for the wellspring from which we flow was going to be the original title, so I still had that kind of stuck in my brain, but it's called Emanations from the Ether. I fucked up, sorry. Just so much music, that I'm releasing, so I can't remember every fucking title of everything. And it has 3 songs. I remember the title of the songs, Return to Earth, fuck. See, I did that EP, Return to Earth, the fuck it was it? Jesus Christ. I don't know why I don't remember the names of my own songs. It was an acoustic instrumental EP. I did it in like 3 days. It's on my Bandcamp, Pathless Land Bandcamp. So I did that super fast. So it was like kind of medieval sort of folk, neo-folk, atmospheric, sort of classical-ish, orchestral, whatever you want to call it. And there's a third song. There's 3 songs, and there's a really spacey song that has a little bit of Iron Maiden, but acoustic, if that makes any sense. So that was done. I've done let's see, Dungeon Master, Nations from the Ether, Light Years Collide, One More Chance. I've done about 4 or 5 EPs in the last 2 years, so it's not actually that bad, considering that I want this 13 song release to be done, but I just can't remember all the songs I recorded because I record so many now, so that's I guess that's a problem. I don't know. I just keep doing this, so I can't stop. I just can't stop. I can't stop recording and writing music. It's an obsession. So, I have Bloodlines is the new one. I know all the songs on that. I remember all the songs because those songs I put a lot more effort into. One's called there's Imaginal Acts is another song off the Emanations from the Ether, and Bridge of Incidents. Okay, I got it. So it was all Neville Goddard titles. I remember now. For some reason, it took me a while. I just saw the title of the album, but I forgot that too. I don't know what the fuck. So I recorded those 3 songs in April and May, released it. I recorded One More Chance. See, One More Chance was written about my most current ex. I started writing that in February of this year. And it was originally a concept, and I had this weird kind of feeling, this chilling feeling of how the riffs would go. It was like this atmosphere that I thought. And then I was like, it was gonna turn into like this kind of anthemic like AOR song about getting one more chance and to be in love with someone and stuff, and like be more triumphant and like in the chorus and like more major key, and that's what it turned out to be. And it's weird because I was gonna put a wind sound in it, but like in this part about being out in the cold or whatever. But ironically, some of the guitar effects, I think it was flange or chorus, I hear that like automatically like in on one of the parts, that just it kind of just it was like a ghost or something. It was really weird shit. It was kind of cool. So that was another EP I recorded this year, and you know, I keep doing it. I mean, I can't stop recording music. I want to play live too, of course, but you know, I haven't played live in a long time. Last year, I did one open mic by myself with backing tracks, but that was about it. And before that, it'd probably been a couple years with this other project called Filled with Lies that I have with this friend of mine, and that was kind of an interesting project. It had a lot of potential. People really liked it because we played a lot of open mics, and got a lot of attention. And people would ask us about maybe doing a band stuff, like the singer and this bass player or something. You know, people were interested, and it was cool. And I'm kind of proud of that too, because that actually is out there too. Check it out. There's a few different versions out there. Because I play just mainly lead, and this other guy writes the music. Even though I started writing more music for it towards the end, but we never actually did the my songs, but we were gonna start doing some of that. But originally, this guy had written these songs because he was in this other band I was in, which he was just like kind of he was a guitarist, one of the guitarists, and I didn't see him for a while, and he got into like way more like underground music, like sludge kind of stuff, or like sort of Melvins, or grungy kind of sludgy kind of stuff. I Hate God and all this stuff. And then he started writing riffs. He'd get really high and write these riffs, and some of them are really fucking brilliant stuff. Like it's like he doesn't know what odd timings, like music theory wise, are, but like some of them have some odd timings, and they just have this really cool feel. So he asked me to like play some leads, so I started playing leads to him, and then helped with some of the concepts and ideas and shit. So it was pretty cool. What was that one called? We used a sample of the guy that got kicked off the plane a few years ago. I forgot what the whole deal with what that was, but he had this scream, and we used it in one of the songs. It's so hilarious. Terrible. We played that at open mic too. Turning on the fan. It's really hot in here. So we were doing that. That lasted about 2 or 3 years actually. That we were doing those open mics and just kind of not going anywhere. He got married early this year, so I don't think he has time for that project. But it had a lot of potential. We actually did kind of have. We're flirting around with this, not flirting around, but like kind of going with this singer for a little bit, and this bass player. Almost got a drummer and stuff, but we never did. We just hired other drummers, like the infamous Glenn, famous Glenn, not infamous or famous Glenn. That's on a lot of stuff that we do. Glenn Wellman, great drummer. Check him out. Should. So yeah, he's just a session guy, but it's still really good. So that's basically where it is with music for me, doing this Pathless Land album, which is the longest one I've ever done, and probably the most advanced one I've ever done, because it goes all over the place. And today I submitted that Iron Maiden-ish, Somewhere in Time-ish song to Glenn, the drummer. I expect to get that pretty soon. I'll be working on that. Then I have that last song, and then we'll be done. 13 songs. There's a sort of doomish metal, weird dissonant song based on William S. Burroughs. There's a song based on like the Priory of Sion, or it's called like Holy Blood, Holy Grail / Da Vinci Code, based around this conspiracy theory. That's the title track, Bloodlines, by the way. That song, and then there's a song about kind of like the evangelicals and stuff, religion / religion. That was one of my earlier songs for this project, called End Times. That's the first song. There's a song based on Clark Ashton Smith, but also it's kind of like Holy Wars, The Punishment Due from Megadeth, because like the first section of the song has one concept, and the second section has another concept, and it's called At Saturn's Gate / the resistance is due. The resistance is due. Holy Wars of Punishment Due. Yeah. So no, the first section is based on this Clark Ashton Smith story about these two wizards. The second session is about right now what we're going through. That's all I'm going to say. You can read the lyrics, read into it what you think. Pretty interesting that I wrote lyrics right away about the contemporary situation we're in. It doesn't mean that it points to a political belief at all. It's just kind of my reaction to a lot of what's going on. People telling people what to do, and the risk of authoritarianism, which is a real threat. No matter what people say, it is a real threat. I was just watching this Kyle Kalinske thing about some of the censorship on Facebook, and he's as left as they come, and he's worried about it. So Matt Taibbi is probably the same way. So yeah, I think it's worth doing doing a song about the creeping tide of authoritarianism in our country. It's fine, and that's what the lyrics are sort of about, loosely about that. It could be about anything as far as that goes, as far as a entity trying to oppress people. But let's read the lyrics to that. So it's another song. One song is based on sort of based on the comic book Swamp Thing, believe it or not. But it's another song actually about a girl that I knew a long time ago, and this dream I had about her, because I dreamt that this girl was like my soulmate or something like that, which she was definitely not my fucking soulmate. Okay, this is like many years ago, and it kind of ties into like these two concepts, like this dream and this like mist and all this stuff, and like this sort of romantic thing, and then like what happened in that comic, Alan Moore's comic Swamp Thing. But his take on that is really bizarre. That I wrote a song about that, but I think it's cool. There's another song, and that's kind of more Pink Floyd-ish, actually, that song. There's another song, there's a Time Will Tell If Our Love Is Gonna Last, and I wasn't going to put that on the album because it was just kind of a extraneous thing that I did, like I started last summer. That one started with me buying a Shoals Rockman, and the reason why I bought a Shoals Rockman, which is this preamp, is because I wanted to get the Summer in Time sound from Iron Maiden, and that was closer to the Galen Kruger amp solid state amp that they used, but not exactly right. And then plus Judas Priest used it on Turbo, and I think Ram It Down, and maybe Painkiller along with a Soldano, as far as what I've read. It's weird. I got that from this weird book that I bought where they interview the producer Painkiller, believe it or not. That's what they use, supposedly. So, well, this Shoals Rockman, and I was like, I'm going to write some really 80s hair metal-ish types of riffs. So I started writing this riff, and I recorded like this, this was 2015, I wrote these two riffs, and it was pretty cool. And I put it up on the YouTube. But then last summer, I got myself into this relationship, and I started writing these lyrics. And then I realized, like, there was this chorus that I got, like, because, and then I started listening to that song. I'm like, this chorus is about this relationship, and it sounds so good. So I started writing more riffs for it, and then this March or February, I recorded that song, or the original take of that song. And the woman in question, I did send to her. I never heard anything about it, of course, but not that I don't, that I don't think that it. I'm not saying like someone has to come out and say, "Oh my God, you wrote a song about me," No, it's kind of ridiculous in a way, anyways. That but it was kind of like concept with that song was more like, what are we doing? It's this long distance relationship. It's like asking the question about the uncertainty about the situation. It's like maybe you could say it answers its own question, because because broke up, but it's like just looking into the nuances of what things are about with someone else. You're like trying to keep like the faith in something that's hard to keep going. I guess that's maybe to sum it up. I'm trying to remember all the other songs. Well, there's this one that's more about artificial intelligence and shit. That's the Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time one, which I don't have a title for. I was going to call it Man or Machine because it was based on a poem that I did, but it was like, that's so many fucking songs named that. But, oh God, it's embarrassing to even say that. Damn, what's another song? There are instrumental songs, more going to go classical. Forgot the title already. It was called Imaginal Acts. That's what it was called. So I have that song. Fuck. Damn, man, I mentioned all the songs. Dungeon Master, yeah. Well, it's about a dungeon master and role playing. That's what it's about. But it kind of maybe makes it more of like a mythology, like you're in this basement and there's this evil dungeon master throwing you all these tricks and stuff. So it's kind of fucking funny. It was originally a joke, but it turned into a cool song. Light Years Collide. That's an old song of mine. That's about space travel. Destiny Retribution. It's basically Bathory, Viking era Bathory meets Kiss's Music from the Elder, if that makes any sense. The concept is from Music from the Elder. If Corthon would have like gotten Gene Simmons' story and wrote a song, that's what that song's about. It's literally what it's about. Except for Odin is mentioned and shit too. So it is Viking metal. I already mentioned that song. What else is there? The ballad that I don't want to give the title away of the Tony Robbins one. There's got to be some more. I can't remember all the songs. There's so many songs. I mean, it's coming out all the time. Like, I just have so many songs. I know there's 13 songs on this, and I can't for the life remember all of them right now. I'd have to actually look. I think I mentioned most of them. One of them is, the one about William S. Burroughs' book. Let's see. 4, 5. Alright. Okay, so there's Escape, Mystery Distribution, Light Years Collide, Bloodlines, End Times, 6, Imaginal Acts, 7, Official Intelligence, 8, Shadows of the Green, 9, Centipede 10, God damn it. I can't remember all of them. Anyways, I'm rambling on. Anyway, this is another ramble session. So, yeah, what do I expect to do after this whole thing? After this album is released, which I'm going to be doing a CD as well at some point, but not only Bandcamp. Well, I think I'm done as far as like this project is not done, but I will be trying to look for other people more aggressively after this, because I have a good catalog of songs now. If you go to Metal Archives, I have about 10 or 11. I'll have like 11 or 12 releases by the time that, like, this album. I think it'll be 12 releases since 2010. But as a matter of fact, it's not really 2010. 2012, 2010 when it was when the name was given, but 2012 is really when the releases started. So that's going to be interesting. That's what I have to do with that. So now, talk about some other things that happen in my life. Well, I am dating. Trying not to get too caught up into what women are thinking of me as far as me trying to date, because it's hard, you know. I know that there's some type of appeal that I have to certain women. Believe it or not, believe you're watching this video, believe it or not. I'm just kidding. I'm just taking a dig at myself. I don't give a fuck. But I know that's the truth, and it's just something I have to accept. You know, I used to not accept the idea that would be the case ever. I guess that's kind of a little bit of real talk, personal stuff, but I used to really believe that I did not have what it took. I really didn't. I mean, I really did believe that I didn't have what it took. And, you know, it's like, it's taken a lot of years to get even to that point where I'm just like, maybe there's something here, you know? Maybe there's something appealing about me with women, you know? As far as, like, being able to attract them and stuff, because that was, like, a big problem. That's why I got into, like, all the PUA stuff back in the day. And who would blame me, you know? I mean, growing up, it was horrible. It was bad. And of course, a lot of that was my fault, unfortunately, because I would ignore the signs. I didn't know where to get started. I think a lot of that has to do with my upbringing, unfortunately, where people were not there. Oh, speaking of that, just got a Tinder message. Wish it was that. There's one person I'm talking to right now that I'm just like, come on, let's get this going. Holy shit. And that wasn't her, unfortunately. But so yeah, I didn't think that would be the case. But I really do believe that things got fucked up because, you know, my upbringing was not what it should have been, and I didn't have that kind of support where I had a healthy self-esteem, or, you know, the type of attitude where I would be successful. Now, there were people in my life that did try to help me at certain points, like my brother, rest in peace. He did give me advice, and he told me that I could do it. You know, he really believed in me. Did I do it? No. I mean, I was a failure in my teenage years, and, you know, young adulthood, I would say. So it took me, you know, until I was 24, basically, to have any kind of thing going on, you know, with any woman. So I'm a late bloomer, you know, and the way it goes is that, you know, I might still have like these ideas that are behind by, you know, I wouldn't say decades per se, but like my vision is still kind of in my 20s, you know, as far as like how I see things with dating and stuff. Like, I don't relate to women that are my age or even a little bit younger. I have a youthful spirit, I guess you'd say. I don't have everything like sorted out yet as far as how I want to proceed with all this, but I know with my last relationship, perhaps she was ready for more than I was ready for, and I think that was a big part of why we broke up, because she would give me hints about, you know, oh, people at this stage of the relationship or this time frame are usually living together already and all this stuff. And it's like, damn, I'm just trying to get out of the gate here, you know. And I'm pretty slow at stuff, but, you know, it's like, You know, it's just a little extreme. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I mean, it's like that's kind of where it's at with that, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that this virus stuff is not going to fucking get in the way of all that, of course, but it has, you know, in certain ways sometimes. But I don't even know what I'm looking for, honestly. Still, even after my last breakup, I still just want to experience things and have fun and just do my thing, see what happens. You know, don't have an agenda other than that, and that might not fit expectations of women of a certain age that I'm supposed to be dating or whatever, but that's tough shit. So yeah, like my ex was considerably younger than me. The only people that took any issue with it was supposedly her mom, and you know, even with that, it's just like, what the fuck, you know. Anyways, I think there was some jealousy with that. I know there was, actually, from the way that she talked about it. So, does that matter? I don't know. Should I be talking about all this shit on these videos? I don't know, because I'm gonna start posting some of these to Facebook eventually. I don't know. I don't think someone's gonna sit down for an hour though and watch this much at this point to like find out, oh no, you're talking about me in a video. I watched 3 hours of them to get to this point, you know. So yeah. So what was I saying in the beginning? Well, I know that people, just cycling back now to the beginning of this damn video, sometimes I feel like people don't respect me or my opinions or my train of thought. I feel like I'm diminished sometimes, you know, let's just be honest. Like, people don't take me seriously enough sometimes. And I hate that feeling, you know. I want to be taken seriously. I want to be, you know, not laughed at as far as certain things go. But also, like, disrespect is like someone telling you that you have to leave the room because your emotionally damaged friend is coming over and you don't want to have to deal with that dynamic that you don't want to deal with. I just feel like that's disrespectful to say that to someone. Oh, leave the room because your friend, you know. So anyways, that's kind of what happened with that. And I doubt this person's ever going to watch this video about that. So that's about all. I blathered for an hour. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure as hell did. I don't give a fuck. I'll be doing a lot more videos on this channel. I decided that I'm actually going to go into a different direction for some of this. I've been watching a few more channels lately that have way more produced videos about music with regards to music criticism, and I'm going to be doing some reviews I'm going to be doing review like segments, kind of like some people do. Like they'll do you know, they'll do all the Kiss albums or something one after another. I'm not going to mention names, but you probably can guess whose videos I've been watching. I'm going to do that for some of my favorite bands and try to see how that goes, and actually put some fucking work into it, like get clips of stuff and do, you know, the titles and the fucking, you know, I mean, obviously it's copyright is going to be all out the window because there's going to be a lot of fucking shit used, because these people that do these types of videos, there's, damn, you know, we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm going to do it particularly about my all-time favorite band, as you probably already know who they are. Hopefully, if you don't, you could probably guess who my all-time favorite band is, you know. So I'm going to start doing reviews, you know, like that, and I think I have a unique spin on, or I hope I have a unique voice on music criticism. People seem to like my stuff as far as when I do commentary on music, and that's where my butter is breaded. As I said in a previous video, and fucked up on butter is breaded, and butter is breaded. Oh, so like my blog and stuff is I mean, people respect it when they read the stuff. They give me compliments. Like if I post it on Facebook, people will say, "Oh, that's a good article." You know, they don't do that for my music a lot of the time. Like I'll post my music on the fucking Facebook, and you know, one person will watch it or something sometimes. Then again, you know, there are these anomalies where I'll post a song, and then all sorts of people liked it. Like that's happened sometimes. Like, and then a friend will share it, and like 30 likes on that song. So that's happened. But it's like I'll post. It'll be like 5 songs, like in a matter of like 6 months. Oh, you know, might get one person like, you know, mentioning it. Then I'll release a song, and then it'll be like 30 people liking it all of a sudden. I've had that happen a couple times. It's really weird. It's like, what makes this song better than the other one? I don't fucking know. When people paying attention to this one, because you go to my YouTube, MataWarrior777, you'll notice there's like certain songs that have hundreds of views, and there's certain songs that have like 5 views. It's like, what? Why is Strange Illusion? Why is Let the Legends Be True so popular versus like fucking End Times? I don't know. You know, I don't fucking know what goes into this. That's something that is a mystery to me. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever know. That's why I just keep releasing music and not giving a fuck, because it's like some people like Time Will Tell If Our Love Is Gonna Last is like fucking pretty popular too. It's like those 2 songs, are they my best songs? Oh, I don't know, you know. People seem to like those 2 songs a lot though, and they like a couple of the other ones too, but do I really care? I do not. I mean, obviously, if that many people like those songs, then they'll probably be played live in eventual live configuration of Pathless Land, hopefully. I don't know. I mean, it goes all over the place. You know, bands that write a lot of different kinds of songs. You know, Stradivarius, for example, they'll write a love-ish type of song, and then they'll write a song about some kind of wizard or some shit, and then they'll write a song about modern politics, sort of, or social stuff. Oh man, I'm sore. I worked out today. That's just what happens. So, where am I going with this? So, I hope one thing today that happened is that I did ask someone. I didn't exactly ask them out, but I kind of hinted at that. Very, very much high caliber person or woman. I'll just say that. And I'm hoping things go well with that. But we'll find out, I guess. You know, I was doing really well earlier in the year, and then some things did happen. Unfortunately, that did get in the way. Those things are actually pretty much out of the way, which is good. I'm not going to go into detail because I just do not want to talk about that on this channel. But it's out of the way. It's good, you know. So I think I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? It's going to be a challenge, as it always is. I was talking to a few people today about that. A lot of people think that. A lot of people still. I'm surprised by people. There's all this stuff, all this information. You know, whether it's about manifestation or, you know, how to get with women, or, you know, or being confident, or being having a high self-esteem. There's all this stuff out there about all this stuff, and all the stuff out there about all this stuff, and still people miss. It goes over their head, not above their head. It goes over their. Well, that's the same fucking thing. It goes above their head. It goes over their heads. You know, they just ignore it. They just don't have it really in there. And I was thinking about that. It's like if you're putting one importance in one person or one girl or whatever, it's kind of foolish. Of course I do that, because when I like someone a lot, it's tough to differentiate between the idea that there's more like this out there, and there's this one girl that's really special. You know, it's like, one-itis, as they call it in the pickup artist scene. One-itis. That sounds so stupid. I hate that word. One-itis. Curbside pickup. Yeah. Social distancing. Wear a mask. I just fucking hate that shit so much. I just hate it. Or like, no, it's like, where was I going with that? I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, I think I hate the word one-itis. That's what I was saying. Anyway. So, but, early this year, there was some things going on with some women and stuff, like things going in a good direction, and the rug was pulled under me for various reasons, but now it's going better. And basically, like, if you're out there, if you think like, oh my god, like, I think the thing is this like fatalistic kind of thinking that the luck has ran out, or there'll never be someone that's like on that caliber again that you'll meet, or something like that, or this special thing a woman does or ex-girlfriend does or whatever. You'll never have that again. And I think that's a real fear that we have as people, that it's like there's this like weird like voodoo, not voodoo, that wouldn't be the right word, but like this karma that, oh my god, it's all done, man, it's over. And that's kind of funny because like there were times in my life where I thought it was over, like, this is a little weird fucking secret that I've never talked about on a video. I was a virgin, obviously, in my teenage years, as if so I told this girl once that I was hanging out with in my when I was 15, that I would kill myself if I was still a virgin at 18. I actually told her that. Like, to think back then that I thought things were that bad, it's ludicrous. It's fucking insane. Like, that I actually was that, like, sure that things were, I should have been fucking that girl, of course, that I'm talking about, but like, I thought she only wanted to be friends, even though, forget it. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't know. I don't think she'll ever see this video. This girl, this is a long time ago. But like, she was like giving me the signals that I would realize later about that. So it's like, what an irony that I told this girl that I might have been able to lose my virginity from, that I would kill myself if I was still virgin at 18. It's kind of fucked up. So if you're hopeless out there, about women, because I've talked to 2 people tonight that are having problems. It's just like, you can't really let that get to you, that, right now, every moment is a new moment, every day is a new day. The past does not equal the future. Tony Robbins. I should put that in my song. The past does not equal the future. I know there's all this Tony Robbins controversy now too, but whatever, fuck you. So, like, there's a lot of hopelessness out there, with regards to the dating situation a lot of the time. And all I have to do is think back to where I was hopeless and like clutching at straws and desperate and clinging, to every little thing. And then I was expecting, like, it was almost like expecting things to get better because they were so bad. It's like I would make them so bad in my head that I almost knew, like, automatically that things would get better, if that makes any sense. And they would. And, a matter of weeks or months, things would get better. I would, meet someone within a couple of weeks, That's just how it works. I don't know if it's, I guess you would call it manifestation, like the idea that you can just like have this idea in your head, like, oh my God, and then becomes reality. And I know for a fact that my ex-girlfriend was a manifestation in my head, from my head. because the way that I creatively visualize things, I'm just gonna say that I saw this type of situation. I even said some stuff out loud. I was like, I want this type of so and so because of this or whatever. Some of the shit was kind of actually not the best thing to say, to be honest, because of how the situation unfolded. Because I did kind of manifest that too. But at the same time, mind you, it was so spot on that, you know, you can't really say, like, sit here and say, like, oh, that doesn't work, blah blah blah. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me that the shit doesn't work, because I know it does on some level, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's just kind of subconscious programs that, you know, influence reality, whatever you want to call it. You know, maybe it's magic, you know, but I do know it's reality. I do know that we do influence our lives, our reality, on some level, whatever the level is. If it's supernatural, maybe it's not supernatural, maybe it's just all explained by science. Trust the experts. Yeah, fuck you. Which experts? Which experts? That's the question. Next time someone says trust the experts, that's another fucking slogan. I'm gonna say, which experts? So that's the whole thing about manifestation and dating, is that I've seen some weird shit happen. I'll tell you another story. This is the last story of the night. I promise. I have to fucking go to bed because I have to work at 8:30. The last thing. So I used to do this, like, I'll just say he's from the dating scene thing, and he had this creative visualist. I'll just say that. Take it what you will by this thing. He's also, like, into the occult and stuff and all this stuff. You probably can guess who I'm talking about. What do you say? Dating guru guy, occult. You probably could put two and two together. Also, kind of reptilian looking, you know, from Southern California. About 60 years old. You probably can guess. So he had this, like, he had this confidence tape thing that I did. And there was a last tape. You did this for a couple weeks, right? And you would do this every night, this confidence tapes, NLP kind of stuff. That probably gives it away right there. He's an NLP guy. So he had this confidence tapes I used to listen to, and there was a last one. It was like the bonus side. You know, how to reach through time and space to meet your ideal dream lover. So I did it this one time, and I saw this redhead in my head, and I knew that she was, like, kind of, I knew there was some problems and stuff with this person, but I saw this redhead, and unfortunately I didn't get all the details right with this, like, manifesting a woman thing. Apparently, I don't know. This is what happened. So a couple weeks later, after doing this, I started talking to this girl on MySpace who was like this, looked like this girl that I envisioned. And then I bumped into her at a bar, and I got her number. I fucked it up, but the whole thing was really bizarre. And this is a long time ago, and I really was kind of more of a dork back then. Believe it or not, I could be actually more of a dork. I'm pretty awesome, but I'm just saying. So I did fuck it up, don't get me wrong. So, but the whole thing is like, I saw her in my head. You know, there's no way that I knew who the hell this was. And then I saw her on MySpace and started talking to her, and I saw her at a bar and all this stuff. I tried to fucking get a date, but I didn't. There's no way I would have been able to see this girl, like, actually coming into my life like that, even though she wasn't really in my life. But I've had other stuff like that too, you know, where I start thinking about, you know, start focusing on some type of situation happening, and did. As a matter of fact, this is the craziest story. There was a while where I would meditate several times a week. I would do this breath meditation, It was with actually with these kind of hypnosis tapes things. Do this breath meditation where you like hold your breath, like hold in breath and out. A certain amount of seconds. And I'll listen to these hypnosis tapes. And the certain period of time I was doing this, that I felt, and I lost a bunch of weight, and I was looking pretty good. And I started going to these bars and stuff with my friends. And at the beginning of the night, it'd be like, I will get approached tonight. And there was like a series of like maybe about a month where I would go out like once a week, or maybe once or twice a week. And I swear, like every time I did that, I'd get approached by some woman. For real, it happened. It was weird. I don't know how this happened, but it's just one of those weird things. So my whole point is that, what the fuck, there's a lot of weird shit out there you can do. I'm trying to maybe convince myself that I believe that things are going to go well in life. This manifestation stuff is so fascinating. It's so crazy sometimes. It's just one of those things. And I know it goes well beyond people's grasps of what they believe and stuff, and they probably think it's all bullshit, but I don't know. I mean, if it was really real, why wouldn't you win $1 million in a lottery? There's a lot of dynamics that go into it, right? Obviously. For me, it's worked a lot better with romantic relationships for whatever reason. That's how it's been applied the most. Because, I mean, last year, before I met my ex, it's just like I said it would happen. A couple months before, I'm like, it's inevitable that I meet, I meet someone in a relationship, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, what the fuck, So it's pretty crazy stuff. So I think I'm going to wrap this up because this video is way too long. It's my longest video on this channel, but it's just, I wanted to get some stuff out and just felt like I have to kind of release a few things, and that's about it.